All right, mathematicians, today we are going to be reviewing addition and subtraction of multi-digit whole numbers. First, let's start with a review of addition. So on the screen, you'll see that we're going to add two numbers. First, we're going to add 43,651 plus 52,809. I wrote the numbers on top of each other, and notice that I wrote the numbers very carefully so that each place value is lined up with the place value on top of it. One thing that helps me keep my numbers organized is to draw vertical lines between each of the place values. I recommend that you do this or use graph paper if you notice that sometimes your numbers get all mixed up when you're adding or subtracting. When we are adding, we always start in the ones place and go from right to left. So if we look in the ones place, I see 1 plus 9. 1 plus 9 is 10. So remember, when we add, we write the digits in the digit from the ones place on the bottom and carry the 10. So 9 plus 1 is 10. So I will carry the 1. Now I need to do 5 plus 1, which is 6. No carrying there. Then I have 6 plus 8, which is 14. So I will write my 4 and carry my 1. Then I have 3 plus 2, which is 5, plus the 1 I carried is 6. And then I have 5 plus 4, which is 9. Then I need to finish my addition by writing my comma, and there we go. 43,651 plus 52,809 equals 96,460. It's good practice to circle your answer when you're finished. Now let's do some subtraction examples. Here's my first subtraction problem. I need to subtract 97,432 minus 6,724. Just like when I add, I'm going to draw some vertical lines between my place values to help keep everything organized. When you're adding, you can just go ahead and get started. But with subtraction, it's good to check each place value to see if you're going to have to do any borrowing in order to make your subtraction work. So let's look at each of our digits and see if there are any places where we're going to have to borrow. Here, I need to do 2 minus 4. I can't take 4 away from 2, so I need to look at my next door place value and borrow 10 to help me make this subtraction work. So first, I'm going to cross out my 3. I'm taking 10 away, and I'm giving it to my 2. 2 plus a 10 is 12. Okay, so now I can do my 12 minus 4. I can do 2 minus 2. We're good. 4 minus 7. I can't do 4 minus 7, so I need to borrow again. I'll look at my next door place value, take a 10, and I'm going to give that 10 to my 4, so 4 becomes 14. Okay, I can do 6 minus 6 and 9 minus nothing. Okay, so now I'm done borrowing. I can go ahead and do my subtraction. So I'm going to start with my ones place. 12 minus 4 is 8. Then I have 2 minus 2, which is 0. 14 minus 7 is 7. 6 minus 6 is 0. 9 minus nothing is 9. And then I'll add my comma. And that's it. My answer is 90,708. So now we've reviewed how to borrow, but what happens when you have a bunch of zeros in your number on top? Borrowing can get a little bit tricky. Let's do one more example. Here's my next subtraction problem, 90,000 minus 47,652. First, I'm going to get my place values ready by drawing my vertical lines. Now I'm going to check to make sure I can subtract and see if I need to borrow. I immediately see that there's a problem here because every single number on top here is a 0, and I cannot take anything away from 0. I can't do 0 minus 2 or 5 or 6 or 7. And if I look at this 0, I can't borrow next door because it's also a 0. I can't borrow next door here. I can't borrow next door here. So when we have all of these zeros and we can't borrow, we need to start from the first digit that we can borrow from. The first digit that I can borrow from is this 9. I can take a 10 away from this 9 and give it to my 0 next door. And then that 0 next door will become a 10. So now that this 0 has become a 10, I can now borrow, I can double borrow to help out this 0, and so on and so on. So I'm going to borrow 1 from this 10, so I'm left with 9, and this 0 will become a 10. And then I can keep going. I can borrow a 10 from the 10, so it becomes a 9. This one becomes a 10. And then one last time, I can borrow a 10 and give it to this 0. So now if I look back, I can see that I have 8 minus 4, 9 minus 7, 9 minus 6, 9 minus 5, and 10 minus 2. So now my subtraction will work and I can go ahead and carry on. I'll start with my ones place. 10 minus 2 is 8. 9 minus 5 is 4. 9 minus 6 is 3. 9 minus 7 is 2. And 8 minus 4 is 4. Add my comma, and then I can go ahead and circle my answer. So mathematicians, remember what I did first is I always check the top to make sure I can subtract. If I can't subtract, I need to borrow. If I have a bunch of zeros on top, I need to go and find the first number I can borrow from, which in this case was the 9. I use that 9 to start a chain reaction to lend 10s across my zeros. So I started with that 9, which gave this 0 a 10, and then I gave the next 0 a 10, and the next, and the next. So sometimes borrowing can get a little tricky, but as long as you have one number to borrow from, you'll be able to make your subtraction work.